Welcome back to the Detail Garage. My name's Corey. Today we're working on a pretty unusual case. We have an older vehicle with some restored headlights. Now these headlights were restored years ago, and as you can see, one of them looks significantly better than the other. Now there's a lot of different things that could come into play in this situation that could cause one headlight to oxidize faster than the other. Maybe it's parked repetitively in the same space every single day, only being exposed to sunlight on this one headlight. The odds of that are very slim though. Cars move around generally pretty often and aren't parked exactly in the same spot every single day. The other potential problem is that when this headlight was restored originally, they didn't do a good enough job sanding off the exterior UV film that's put on the headlight from the factory to protect that polycarbonate plastic that's underneath it. And there's a good chance that since they didn't remove that UV film all the way and completely, that they now have been able, this headlight has now been able to re-oxidize because that bad plastic is still there. The other, the other answer is that potentially this headlight just didn't get sealed. Maybe they were doing a rush job and maybe they sealed one headlight and didn't seal the other. Bottom line is though that this headlight, it needs restoration, it needs protection. You're getting diffused optical clarity coming out of the front of this light, so whether it be around dark corners at night, maybe someone with poor vision, it's going to diminish your ability to see at night and be seen. So it's definitely a safety issue you want to correct before it continues to get worse. So we're going to attack this headlight much like any other headlight we would. We're going to sand off the remaining UV filter film that I see and I can feel on the exterior of this light. We're going to clean it from the road grime, from the dirt and the oils that you come up off the road. We also have some, looks like aftermarket paint transfer on the headlight. It's could be potentially from a paintbrush or maybe an impact with something a little bit higher than it, but it doesn't appear to have any real damage. So it should be just like any other headlight. We have taped off the exterior of the car. We kept the hood open so that we didn't have to tape off the hood. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to sand this down with our 2500 grit sandpaper. Then we're going to go ahead and sand it down with our 3500 grit sandpaper. Then we're going to compound it, polish it, and seal it. So that's the steps. So we're going to start off. We have our sanding block with pink back on it. This one's a little bit easier to hold. I like it, particularly gives me something really to hold on to as I'm sanding. And our Chemical Guys DI water. It's really good stuff. So first step, after you have gone ahead and taped off the headlight around the headlight, or I'm sorry, taped off the car around the headlight, is to go ahead and start sanding it. You want to tape this off so that you don't potentially scratch the paint, or when you get into compound and polish, you don't get that around on these edges and damage the car. So you just want to keep your work zone centralized and go ahead and just attack this area. So lots of water. Really can't use too much water. I mean, it's going to drip a little bit, that means it's too much, and then you just kind of want to get going. But you want to keep applying water to this as you're going, because it's going to fight you. But only for the first couple of minutes. After you start to get at it for a few minutes, it's going to loosen up, and you're going to start to see those glides across happen a little bit easier. Also, you can notice I'm not going in circular motions, I'm going in a straight left to right pattern, and then when I'm ready to change that up, I'm going to go up and down. Already I can see a lot of dirt. I can see that paint has come off, well, a majority of it, and it's really just, it's already cleaning up very nicely. And this is really removing a majority of dirt and road grime and also sanding off that UV film. Now I can see where it's starting to fight me in a couple areas, namely right here. And this what looks to be like the very tail end of that UV film holding on for dear life. But we're gonna go ahead and get rid of it. It's not helpful to us at this point. The also potential possibility is that somebody went and used a less than quality chemical on this headlight and over time sitting in the sun and baking into this polycarbonate plastic that it's been damaged. So this really needs some good sanding. For the people that are out there that have done this before, you know what I'm going through. And to exemplify what I'm going through, if you look down here, this is what we call our headlight soup. That's a lot of water to have to use to restore a headlight. So what we're gonna do is we've been sanding for about 15 minutes, using lots of water and lots of sand and making a big mess. But the UV film on the exterior of the light is gone. There's a couple areas of the light that I don't like 100% still, but no matter how hard I go at it, I'm just not getting it. It's just not going anywhere. I could drop down to a stronger sandpaper, but at a certain point you're just not going to get everything. So, and this also goes into, explaining the expectations to your customers beforehand. They pull in a headlight like this, you might want to tell them right off the bat that it's never going to look new again. If you want new, you just got to buy new. But to restore it, we have made some significant progress. So we're going to put down our sanding block for a second. Grab a towel.
Don't forget to bring a towel.
Just going to wipe this guy off, kind of remove leftover moisture. Well, not the moisture as much. Any dirt. Some stuff left over from the sanding process. And as you can see, it's hazed right back up. It's supposed to do that. Once the water evaporates, the plastic is still oxidized, so we still have to compound and polish that plastic. And so what we've really done is just removed a majority of the dirt and the grit and the film, but a couple areas that I can see, and it's not an area that we're going to be able to reach, is on the back side of this polycarbonate plastic. There's some oxidization that's happened and occurred that I don't have the ability to get to. So it's dried. We're going to go ahead and level out that sanding though a little bit with our next level of sandpaper. So we used our 2500 grit. Now we're going to step up depending on who you are, to our 3500 grit sandpaper and just try to even it out and give us a nice surface to go ahead and compound and then polish. So pretty much anything with stickers is a pain in the butt though. And there you go. So 3500. Let's smooth out some of those peaks and valleys we've created with the 2500. And again, at this point, you really don't have to put that much elbow grease into it. You just want to give nice, even, back and forth strokes across your headlight. Definitely want to have plenty of water, because that keeps the thing going back and forth smoothly. Left to right, up to down. Just want to give it a nice, even sanding. But I think already, just in a couple of small sanding steps that we've done, we can see some pretty significant improvement. I look forward to polishing it, because that's really where it comes back and really gives you something for all the work you put into it. Yeah. We've done some sanding with the 3500. We've leveled it off a bit, cleaned it up a bit. We're going to go ahead and wipe it off one more time. And again, you're going to see it haze as the water evaporates. It's supposed to be like that. And again, and during this time, you can identify the problem areas, which I already have. Not going to come back 100%, but we're looking for a rejuvenation of optical clarity. We're trying to make it so this person can see and be seen better at night. So that's our focus, and I'm going to make sure we get there. So moving into compound stage, we've got our Flex PE14 rotary polisher. We're going to apply some Chemical Guys V-Line 32 compound to our Hexlogic pad. Just a few small dots. These are 4-ounce bottles, so if you're only doing, a couple headlights, you don't want to go for the full 16 or the even bigger 32. We have the 4 ounces, very economical. So we have our pad conditioner. This is probably not primed. Nope. Pad conditioner, just give a couple light sprays. Now, a lot of people are out there going to say you didn't prime the pad. Actually, the pad is now primed. This is a Hexlogic pad. The Hexlogic within the pad is going to help spread out that compound evenly across the pad. That's how we do it here at Chemical Guys. That's the best way to do it. So, I'm going to go ahead and just pat it out a little bit on the headlight. Now I'm doing this a little bit backwards as I am right-handed, so I'll attempt to do it the best I can from this angle. Once we're there, we're going to make sure we're on speed setting 1, touching the headlight. And we're just going to spread out that compound. Right across it. I'm going to have to switch positions. So, here we go. I'm going to go ahead and compound this with our V32. Going to bring back some of that optical clarity, and then we're going to give it the jeweler's polish and really make it shine. So, the V32 orange pad, medium cutting pad, headlight. Let's match.
Well, I was actually looking online for auto parts stores for an obscure part for an old Ford F-150, and I came across this address, and instead of the auto parts store, it's chemical guys. And I was interested in that also because I remembered I have one really bad looking headlight. So I thought I'll stop by and see if they have a product that I can use. And I was very, very lucky and talked to Corey, who's doing this video, and he said, oh, this will be perfect for our videos, since you have one nice one and one not nice one. And they'll be able to show how good this product is. So I just feel really lucky to find out about you guys, and I'll recommend you to other people. I'm sure this will come out good.
Okay, so we're going to add a little bit more compound to this. This is a plastic polycarbonate headlight. These are very resilient, very strong, very hard to scratch, very hard to overheat. So in this instance, using a rotary polisher, I can put more pressure on the back end, or rather the front end of this polisher, to get a deeper cut into these headlights than I would do on a painted surface, such as a substrate on the car. So last pass, V32 orange medium cutting pad. Again, you can see how much dirt and oxidized clear coat or oxidized UV film came off of this headlight. It's amazing. So it's really starting to look good. We're going to do one more final pass over it. We're going to get to the polishing stage, the sealing stage, and then we're going to deliver it. So here you go. Spread it out. Speed setting up. I'm going a little bit over 4 actually. Starting to look good. I'm really pleased with the way that this headlight's coming back so far. A lot of the problem areas that I highlighted before, we were able to correct those in the compound stage using the V32 and the orange medium cutting pad. You're really starting to see some significant improvement here. At this point, you don't want to go too far. This was one of my concerns, was making this headlight now look better than that headlight, but that headlight looks fantastic. So we're going to take it up the next step, and we're going to use our V36 on this plastic. Some people would ask, why aren't you using V38? V38 is such a fine polish for areas of the car such as paintwork that you're not going to see a drastic difference using V38 on a polycarbonate headlight. So we're going to use V36, a little bit heavier of a cut for a polish. However, it's still a polish, and we're going to use our white pad, which is our finishing pad, for using with your polishes. So let's put this guy down, grab our white pad, and as always, you want to make sure that you center these pretty well as to not damage the gear system within the rotary polisher. Then we got our V36 4-ounce, give it a little shake, and we're going to go ahead and put a few dots into our white Hexalogic finishing pad. Again, all these products are widely available at chemicalguys.com. If you're interested, you can check it out. We also have a lot of videos out there, as you may have heard. So we've primed our pad. That's actually probably not enough polish. I'm going to give it another dot or two, because again, using it on plastic, it's going to use up a majority of your polish and your compounds. So we're going to go ahead and pad that right out. Speed setting 1 as to make sure that we do not fling it all over the garage. Spread it out. All right, I'm going to crank it up. Go about 4.5, and here we go. So there you go. She's looking pretty good. Where's my little towel? If we go ahead and give it a little wipe, it should really start to look fantastic. There you go. Optical clarity restored. The car looks better. It's going to operate better. It's going to be safer. There's no loss to restoring your headlights. Almost every car can use a little cleanup on their headlights. I mean, obviously, if it's a newer car, you don't want to go in too soon. But the minute your headlights start to look faded, get out there. If you can't do it, find someone that can do it and restore your headlights. Make them look better. So, last step is one of the best things we have here at Chemical Guys, which is our Chemical Guys Jet Seal. I mean, we have a lot of great stuff, but Chemical Guys Jet Seal is on the top of the charts every month. It's gone across the world from sealing actual jets to sealing personal vehicles. This is good for your wheels. This is good for plastics. This is good for glass. This is good for your painted surfaces. This is good for pretty much everything on your car, and it's protection in liquid form that hardens, gives your car a protective shell on the outside that's going to go ahead and protect you from UVA and UVB rays, and it's going to protect your clear coat. It's going to protect your plastics, anything from oxidizing. So what we're going to do is we're going to seal this plastic polycarbonate headlight with our Chemical Guys Jet Seal. It's going to give it up to 12 months of protection from the sun. It's going to keep it from oxidizing. It's going to keep it from becoming discolored. It's going to keep it, just keep it looking great. So we have another fan favorite here, Chemical Guys 2x4x6 microfiber applicator. You can also put this on with your polishing device, but I like these applicators, and so does everybody else. So we're going to go ahead and just spread a little bit on that headlight. It's going to make it look a little hazy right up front. That's okay. It's going to take a few minutes. It's going to bond with that plastic surface, and it's going to get into those pores of that polycarbonate plastic, and it's going to create a protective barrier, protecting this plastic from the harsh elements of the environment surrounding it. So we're going to go ahead and give that a few minutes to settle in, and then we're going to come back and buff it off, and this headlight's going to be done. At this point, you can pretty much take the time. I mean, you want to let this dry, so afterwards you want to remove that tape and things of that nature. Then you want to go ahead and clean up the car before you bring it to the client. So give us a few minutes. We're going to let this haze up, and see you in a few minutes. Okay, so here we are, right at the end of another job. Today's job, a little bit interesting. Just had to do one headlight. I know, I'm all about that, a little less work. So we've put on our jet seal. It's gone ahead and bonded with that plastic surface, and now we're gonna go ahead and buff off that residual, and it's gonna give us that nice finished product that we're looking for. And there you go. It looks like a different headlight than when it did pull in here this morning. The optical clarity is rejuvenated, 75 to 80%. The driver can see and be seen around those dark corners at night, or if they have, not perfect vision, it's definitely going to improve their driving ability. It's also going to improve their enjoyment for the drive, because, if you can see, it makes driving a little bit easier. So, this has just been a quick video from all of us here at Chemical Guys and Detail Garage. I hope you enjoyed it. As always, click that like button if you liked the video, subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on Facebook. Recently, we've started doing some pretty crazy giveaways, and coming up in the next few weeks, we're going to be doing another one, so stay tuned. Until then, have fun, stay clean. My name is Corey, and I am a Chemical Guy.
He's a little red. You want to lotion him up right here on the chest?
Yeah, actually, here.
The talent needs lotion. Gonna jet seal his chest. Chest seal.
Jet seal.
Yes, seal.
He's really
Yes.
It's so red. Did you get cancer right there?
Wiping off his hand. Hey. No, you don't. I touched your